Hello students, welcome back. Welcome back to another video session of our physics class. That is video number 8 of chapter 3. I wish all of you to go through the first 7 videos before going ahead with the part 8. I would like also to tell you that we came to know that are getting some information that most of the students are not watching the videos fully. They are listening half of the videos and stopping and doing some other. It's not like that. What I want to tell you is these topics what have been taken here, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3 and so on, is the only time where you are going to get the chance to listen. If in the first stage itself you are not listening them, these will never be taught again by anyone to you again. Never, no one will teach you these things. This is the only time where you are getting. If you won't focus now, it is not possible to get some idea on that at a later stage. But make sure that you should follow this. Also, make sure that you will not. When needed, make sure that you repeat the videos to understand the concept thoroughly. And we are very much available to attend your queries. So accordingly, don't waste much time. If you feel video is lengthy and all, like 40 minutes or 30 minutes is lengthy and all, watch half of the video at a time and take some break and again watch the remaining half. But make sure that you concentrate, you get the things done. With this 1.5 minute note, I would like to now straight away enter into the third part, that is eighth part, that is the kinematic equation. Kinematic equations we have already seen, and we have seen this for the case of what? Uniformly accelerated body. Accelerated body means speeding up body, a body which is speeding up, whose velocity is increasing. We shall, in this video, we shall now see the equations, the kinematic equations of these three different cases of kinematic equations. That is a retarded body. What is a retarded body? Decelerated body means negative acceleration. Body should slow down. There are two possibilities for any kind of a motion. It should start from rest, it should increase its velocity, and it should come back to rest after some time. Means that is what? Going to maximum from zero is called as acceleration, and coming to zero from maximum is called as deceleration. This body will have a negative acceleration with that. That negative acceleration is called as retardation, and to that retarded body, we wish now to write the equations of kinematic equations of that body. And all are similar equations, only change in terms of signs and in terms of symbols will take place. A decelerated body will have what kind of acceleration with that? You are going to have some replacement terms. Earlier it was acceleration A, that acceleration is now going to be written in the form of minus A, because decelerated body is negative acceleration. Means final velocity is more, final velocity is less, initial velocity is more, less minus more gives rise to negative acceleration. Accordingly, if you remember those equations, you can give that v is equals to u plus at was the equation for accelerated body. Second equation is s is equals to ut plus half at square. Third equation is v square is equals to u square plus 2as. And you should remember all the terminologies what you have used: velocity, acceleration, speed, time, displacement, and all that, right? Now these are the equations of accelerated body we have seen in the previous video. These are the equation of what? Accelerated, first part. That is, in second part we wish to write this one for decelerated body, we said. And for decelerated body, A is replaced by, only one replacement will take place in case of deceleration, that A is going to be replaced by minus A. I told you why it is minus A, and remaining all other terms remains as is. A body starts from rest at position, initial position 0, goes and covers a displacement of s in a time of t with an initial velocity of u, going to final velocity of. Accordingly, some changes, mean the terms will change, but those all the terms remaining. Accordingly, if you write these equations, will now become what? V is equals to u minus at, s is equals to ut minus half at squared. Only replacement of a is to be done with minus a. If you put a is equals to minus a, u minus 8a, ut minus half at square. V square is equals to u square minus 2a. This is the second case of equation, second set of equations for a decelerated body. This is the first set of equation. for an accelerated body. These are the set. I'm not writing fourth equation, just ignore that one because that is only no formula to be known for that. I'm just using 3 equations from now on. These are the 2 set of equations. For these 2 cases, these are the set of equations. Clearly, this is what kind of motion actually? These two cases corresponds to horizontal motion. What is horizontal motion? This is a usual standard for what we follow for coordinate axis, that is x-axis, y-axis. And you are talking about one-dimensional motion in what case? In case of a body undergoing a change only in terms of along x-axis. This is about the horizontal motion and 2 set of equations for horizontal motion. Accelerated body means which is speeding up, decelerated body which is slowing down. Replacement was that A is done by means of minus A. Now, most importantly, we would like to extend for the other case, the second part of one-dimensional motion, which is also possible in vertical path. Along y-axis also motion is possible. Where can you come across this kind of one-dimensional y-axis? Simply, if you take a ball and throw it upwards, it goes for some time and again it comes back. It goes up and comes back. Now, if you throw wherever you release, that is the origin we choose generally, and from that origin, if you throw up, it goes up, and again after some time it goes up and again it comes back, right? Comes back and fall at the same location. Moving in this direction is called as a vertical path. Vertical motion or vertical path. Now, this vertical path has got 2 cases in that. The moment you throw a body upwards, what happens? It goes up to a certain height, and after that height, it again comes back. When it is coming back, that would be now regarded as a falling body. When it is coming out, it is called as a falling body. Then when are we calling this as a freely falling body? Now check out this. If I leave this marker here, what happens? This marker is at a certain height from the surface of the earth, clearly. If I release it here, what happens? If I release it here, that falls down. Accordingly, the moment you release, we are not giving any force for this. To this marker, we are not giving any force, but still it falls down. Means, what kind of a body this is now? It is that kind of a body would be now regarded as a freely falling body. Here our job is to identify or write the equations for these 2 set of cases. For an vertical motion, that is in the form of one-dimensional motion along y-axis. In that case, how the equations of kinematic equations for a body is going to take place in upward direction, and how it is going to take place in the downward direction. These 2 set of equation is what we wish to write, which would be also in the same form, is some kind of change of notation, plus and sign. Now I am going to tell you what kind of signs you need to observe. Here in this case of vertical motion, understanding the sign convention is important. How you take place, when you take minus is much important. How to remember that, I'll let you know in a minute, in a moment. So accordingly, just focus on understanding the things behind this first. Terminologies would be same, and only you need to understand how the sign convention. I'm going to give you a tip on that sign convention. Now let us check what is the exact concept of this one. First of all, we want to write equations for uniformly accelerated body. Acceleration should be uniform, means constant. Now, if this is the Earth's surface, if you throw a body vertically upwards from the surface of the Earth, now what is happening? You'll find that a body what is going upwards will again comes back to the surface of the Earth only. Is it possible for us to throw a body to go away from the Earth's surface, or will it come back? Clearly, that is going to come back. Why it is coming back? Second case, if I release a body at certain height, why it is falling down? Why an object which is released at certain height is falling down? Because that object is acted upon by some kind of force given by the earth called as gravitational force. Every object at any height will be attracted towards the center of the earth, which is because of the gravitational force of the earth. Now, that gravitational force what is acting on the body will provide some kind of gravitational acceleration on the body. Now, with what force the body is coming down, it is now acted upon by some kind of acceleration. Or what I am trying to tell you is that I am now trying to introduce a term called as acceleration due to gravity. You might have heard of this. Acceleration due to gravity. It is denoted by the letter small g, whose value is 9.8 meters per second square. Acceleration is 9.8 seconds square, and for convenience what we do is that we choose that value to be in the form of what, 10 meters per second square. What is this g now? G is the acceleration due to gravity. What is the definition of acceleration due to gravity? What is the definition of acceleration due to gravity? Acceleration, define acceleration, rate of change of velocity, and velocity is rate of change of position. Now listen here, concentrate. When I release a body at certain height from the surface of the earth, if I release a body at certain height from the surface of the earth, it is falling down. When it is falling down, is it undergoing a change in terms of position? Yes, change is taking place in terms of position. And is it undergoing respect to change of motion? For time we call it as velocity. Now velocity of this body is also changing accordingly. That change of velocity will result in acceleration. Acceleration is change of velocity by time. That is, here change of velocity is also taking place. We define acceleration due to gravity like this. Acceleration due to gravity is defined as a acceleration generated on a body due to the gravitational pull of the earth. From where this body is gaining that acceleration, if I am releasing here, from where this body is gaining the acceleration, it is because of what? Because of gravitational pull of the earth. We call it as earth is pulling that towards it. Accordingly, this is called as gravitational pull of the earth. I am defining. Acceleration due to gravity is defined as the acceleration produced on a body due to the gravitational pull of the earth, whose value is 9.8. Even other bodies also, such as sun and such as moon, they also attract other bodies towards them. Those are going to have acceleration due to gravity due to them. Accordingly, the pull, how much it is providing by that body on that body, would be now regarded as acceleration due to gravity. One important term, this is acceleration due to gravity. And this acceleration, it has to be uniform now from the surface, either near the surface or some closer distance from the surface of the earth. G is constant only. G is always constant. Up to certain height from the surface of the earth, G value remains constant. And beyond that height it changes. We'll talk about that change of acceleration values later stages. As of now, when you throw a body, you throw up to that height which cannot go beyond this ring. It is not possible for us to throw to that height which is beyond the value of G constant. We can throw only up to here or up to here. We can throw up to that location where G is remaining constant only. If you just remember this point. Or any body which is undergoing upward motion, or it is coming towards the earth downward motion, is acted upon by what? Is always acted upon by the acceleration provided by the earth. It is called as acceleration due to gravity. Or in order to write these equations, you need to change the terminologies. You need to replace these terminologies according to y direction. What terminologies you need to replace? I'll just erase this part. Second part, we'll write now equations here. You should know this basic concept of acceleration due to gravity before going further. Accordingly, acceleration due to gravity is. Now let me write equations for the third case. Kinematic equations of a body undergoing in vertical motion. Kinematic equations of a body in vertical, let me write a bigger letters. Kinematic equations of a body in vertical motion. And this is again two kinds. One is going upwards. First case what we talked is that we take for a body going upwards. When a body is, now you should understand the replacement terminologies. Replacements, what are the things we are going to replace from the previous case? replacements from that equations. What is that we say now? I'll draw the figure to make understand. Consider a body of mass m thrown at origin in vertically upward direction. Consider a body, let us ignore about the mass, let us not consider a body thrown in vertically upward direction from some location. Now, this body is given what, in order to make it should be given some initial velocity to that. If you give some velocity, then only it goes up. It should be given some initial velocity. It slowly goes and it reaches something called as the highest point, which can be called as maximum height. This is called as maximum height because along y-axis change is taking place in terms of height wise. Accordingly, wherever the particle stops, it has to stop for sure after some time. When you throw body upwards, will it keep on going or will it stop after some time? It will stop after some time. Accordingly, where exactly it is stopping, that location would be corresponds to what? Highest point or maximum height. This maximum height is denoted by h max, which is equals to y final minus y initial, which is equals to delta y. Which is equals to what? Delta y means what? Y initial is equals to 0. Y final is this location, which is called as y final itself, and difference of these two is what we call it as the h max. You are projecting a body upwards, vertically upwards with an initial velocity of u. U is not equals to 0. You are giving some velocity to that, and it goes and it reaches that point called as the maximum height. And at maximum height, what could be the final velocity? At maximum height, what is the final velocity? Can I call this final velocity at maximum height to be 0? Why final velocity at maximum height is 0? Important point this is at maximum height, because body is stopping there and coming back. It is going up, stopping there and coming away. What is the meaning of stop? You are given some velocity. Velocity is increasing for some time, then it starts decreasing. That velocity means that to go to certain, again velocity should decrease because it has to come to 0. And once it becomes 0, the body stops there, and from there again it retraces the path. In this way it is going now. After reaching 0, what happens? It would be now coming down. Once it goes to highest position, that would be now acting as the freely falling body. So earlier we had displacement given by s. Now that displacement is going to be replaced by what? Delta y, because change is taking place along y-axis. And for convenience, what we do is that we write this as y1, because initial position is 0. Delta y is y final minus y initial. Initial point wherever you are starting, that point is taken as 0. Accordingly, final value is taken in the form of y. Therefore, y minus 0 gives rise to y itself. Earlier we had s for displacement. Now for displacement we have what? Y. I am talking about replacements. We are talking about the replacements. U would be as is, no change in terms of u, because initial velocity remains same in both the axes. V is also same, no change in terms of v takes place. And acceleration is very much there for the body, but this is acceleration by the body. With the body would be negligible. Acceleration of the body would be negligible, but this is acted upon by what actually? This is actually replaced by another value called as g, because it is going upwards and downwards. What is been at, though the body has got certain acceleration, that is very much less when compared with the acceleration provided by the earth. With respect to the g given by the earth, this acceleration of the body is negligible. Because this is negligible, then only it is stopping. If this is more than this, it won't listen to this, it keeps on going. A value is very much there, but that is very much less or negligible. Hence, when with respect to what that is negligible, with respect to the acceleration provided by the earth, accordingly A is now going to be replaced by, this body is under the influence of g now. Acceleration of this body is under the influence of what? Under the acceleration given by the earth. Accordingly, now check out time. There is no factor, we cannot change time, so time remains same. Any other things to be used? S is used, U is used, T is used, B is used. Accordingly, these are the way how we are going to change. S in horizontal motion means this is a change along x direction. S in vertical motion corresponds to what? Change along y direction. Initial velocity, you are giving some velocity going upwards. I have explained all these things. V is given by means of, and highest position V in vertical motion, highest position V is equals to what? V is equals to 0. At highest position this is not highest, but before here you want to find the value of V. It is still going, but at some other location you want to find the V, then you will write that as V. But if it is highest position, V is equals to 0. While coming downwards, you should write that conditions properly. While coming downwards, you will become 0. While coming, it's a freely falling body. Body is starting here, reaching here. When it is starting here, initial velocity is 0. Final velocity is V. Final velocity is V where before hitting the ground. Before hitting the ground, velocity is V. But once it hits the ground, again that also comes to 0. Accordingly, these are the changes what we need to make in order to write the equations for the vertically upward body. Right? You want to write the equations. Now check out whether we can write equations for this by using these things or not. Now, one important point about this thing is, so before writing equations, let me now tell you, I'll just edit this part. Before writing these equations, when it comes to vertical motion, sign convention is very important. Concentrate, all of you. This is the only place where you are going to understand these terms. I am going to give you some kind of sign convention with which you can solve any kind of a problem based upon this kinematic equation. For a kinematic equation, this is the most important thing. What kind of sign convention you need to follow? What is the sign convention? When to take G plus, when to take G minus, when to take U plus, when to take U minus, when to take, and you'll also write this to H also sometimes. Height. Delta y is equals to height, H max, highest position H max. Accordingly, y you use different terms according to when should you take these terms to be negative, when should you take these terms to be positive is very much important. That is the thing what I am trying to tell you now in the form of what? Sign convention. Remember like this, only two important points. Concentrate and listen. In physics, from the coordinate axis, we know that from the origin, anything goes up is positive. Anything goes up is positive because from origin the value is increasing 5, 10, 15, 20. And anything comes down is negative. This is positive y-axis, right? This is negative y-axis, right? This is positive x-axis, this is negative x-axis. We are not bothered about x concepts now. Just remember one important point, this one. Any kind of a parameter, if it is going upwards from bottom, if it is going upwards, it is always taken as positive. Anything up is always positive. Damn sure, blindly follow this. Whatever the parameter, and this direction is for what we take. We talk direction for the vector quantities. Identify how many vectors are here. Identify how many vectors are here. This is displacement. This is a vector quantity. Velocity is a vector quantity. Acceleration is vector quantity. Whereas time is scalar. Will not. This is the only thing that is not needed. For remaining four of these things, all are vector quantities. For vector quantities, direction is equally important. Direction says that in what way it is going. So now the two things to be followed. One is that first convention is that any kind of this parameter, if it is going upwards, is always positive. And any kind of parameter which is coming downwards is always negative. These are the only 2 points what you should make. Anything what is going up is always positive. Anything it is coming down is always negative. Accordingly, for upward we write plus minus, and this is the first convention. Second important convention is that G is always negative. No matter whether it is going up or coming down, G is always negative. Why G is always negative? Because in either of the cases, G is acting in downward direction only. Even for a body going upwards, even for a body coming downwards, G is always acting in what direction? For a body going upwards also, G acts in downward direction only. Downward is always negative. For a body going upwards, A is there. We are not bothered about this A now. This is that particular body is acted upon by G. G is always acting in what direction? Downward direction. Accordingly, for an upward body also G is negative. For a downward body also, or important condition is that G is always negative. We write separately for upward case and downward case, but before writing that one, you should understand this convention. Only two important points. Blindly follow this, by heart them. Any parameter what is going up except to time, what is going up is always positive. Any parameter what is coming down is always negative. Accordingly, so that's the first point. Anything going up, positive, coming down, negative, going up, positive, coming up, negative. Going up, positive, coming down, negative, right? What is the second convention? G. No matter whether body goes up or down, it is always negative. Why G is always negative? Either for upward, either for downward, G is always negative because G always acts in the downward direction. Either the body may be going up, but G always goes in the downward direction. So with these replacements, we shall now try to write the equations. You can understand these things. We are now going to solve that, some examples also. Any kind of the hell of the problem can be solved if you follow this convention. Whatever the numerical problem, you should first listen, you should understand, get that basic terminologies right, then you can solve any kind of a numerical problem. Entire physics problems are based on this kind of sign conventions only. Simple thing. Upwards is always, any parameter going upwards is always positive, any parameter going downwards is always negative. And second convention, G is always negative because in either of the cases G is acting in downward direction only. G is acting in downward direction only. Now let us write the equation for a vertically projected body. I am writing straight away the equations. Check this. Consider a body thrown upwards with initial velocity u, which is, because body is now going upwards, what velocity this is now? Plus velocity. It goes to one location where it's consider a body thrown upwards with positive velocity, initial velocity, because upwards it is positive. It reaches some other location where it is going to have final velocity, even this is also positive, right? And it is having some kind of change of displacement given by y. Is this positive or negative? Displacement is replaced by what? It was replaced by y. Now it starts from a time of t is equals to 0 and takes a time of t is equals to t. Change of time interval is. And what is the direction? Though the body is going upwards, G is always what? G is, though the body is always going upwards, G is always acting downwards. So acceleration has to be replaced by what factor? It has to be replaced by minus G. Now with this, now let us write the equations. Let us write the first equation. I'll write here. First equation is, first kinematic equation of a body undergoing vertical motion. This is that is given by means of V is equals to U minus GT. It was actually V is equals to U plus AT. V is equals to U plus AT. A is replaced by what? If you want, I'll write the equation. V is equals to U plus AT. S is equals to UT plus half AT square. V square is equals to U square plus 2AS. These are the basic equations. We are now modifying these equations to our convenience for the case of vertically upward body. In case of V is asterisk, because positive, positive V. Positive U, positive. A is replaced by what? A is replaced by minus G. This is the first equation. Second equation, S is equals to UT plus half AT square. For upward body, S is replaced by what? S is replaced by plus Y. Plus Y is equals to, or delta Y you can call it as, plus Y is equals to plus UT minus half GT square. That is simply Y is equals to UT minus half GT square. Right? Third equation, V square is equals to U square minus 2GH. So these are the equations, these are the set of equations. This A is replaced by minus G, S is replaced by H or Y it is. In this case I told it as Y, 2GY it is. U square, Y it was actually plus 2AH, in place of plus I got minus because of A is minus G, and S is replaced by plus Y, accordingly minus into plus. These are the third set of equations. First set of equations with plus side here, accelerated body, minus sign here. For a decelerated body, replacing this a by g, you are going to get vertical motion, and in that vertical motion we are talking about the first case where the body is going upwards. Accordingly, when the body is going upwards, only g is minus. Accordingly, these three set of equations. We should now write for the case fourth one, that is kinematic equation of a body for a freely falling body. I'm just writing equations now. Once we write the equations, you can use this one to solve any kind of a problem. Where shall I write? Shall I remove this? Hopefully you should remember these 2 points. Anything going up is positive, anything coming down is negative. G always comes down only, therefore coming down is negative, therefore G is always negative. Now let us write equations for the second part, equations for the third part, that is today's third part, freely falling body. Kinematic equations of a freely falling body. Again, what is that freely falling? I will just draw the figure first. Consider a body released with some velocity. You can throw this down with velocity u, or you can simply release it. You can write initially for throwing down with velocity. I will say this for convenience minus u. I am not releasing it, I am throwing it down. I am giving some velocity, but that is now because in the downward direction it is minus. I told you minus, and this is minus v. Means initially it is thrown at some velocity minus u, taking while before hitting the ground it acquires a velocity given by means of minus v, whereas because of opposite directions, a is equals to what? Again minus g here, and change of position is equals to what? Change of position is also all minuses because it is coming downwards. All parameters except all are minus. So I have taken all the. Now write the equations. First one, minus v is equals to minus u minus gt. That's it, right? Minus v is equals to all minuses, minus u minus gt. If you modify this, minus take common, u plus gt. If you take minus common and cancel, we will get that in the form of u plus gt. Second one, quickly, that is second equation is s is replaced by what? Minus y. Minus y is equals to minus ut minus half gt square. S is equals to ut plus half it square. He is now replaced this by given by minus y is equals to. If you take minus common here, what it is? Minus, if you take common, minus y is equals to minus of ut plus half gt square. If minus and minus cancel, y is equals to ut plus half gt square. The equation for a second kinematic equation of a freely falling body. Second kinematic equation of a freely falling body. Take out that y is equals to ut plus half gt square. Now, third equation. Quickly, I'll write here. Third equation. What is that? V square minus v is minus v whole square is equals to minus u whole square. Minus v whole square minus u whole square. Actually, it is plus 2 into minus g into minus y. Both are minuses, right? Minus g into minus y. Minus g into minus y. That is v square is equals to u square plus 2gy. Third equation of a freely falling body. See, we have just modified the equation by using only two conditions. G is always negative and upwards is always positive, upward is always positive, downward is always negative. By using this, we have made some kind of equations. Remember the set of equations, third set of equation, fourth set of equations. We now show you how we apply those equations. We have seen, altogether 4 set of equations: accelerating body, decelerating body, upward body and downward body. For all these cases, we have seen different scenarios like how to apply the equations. With that knowledge in mind, if you have that knowledge, what I said earlier, if you have that knowledge in mind, we can make use of that things to solve this kind of scenarios. I'm going to give you 2 or 3 examples like this on how to apply that equations. Concentrate thoroughly on this one. Like, look at the question, what it says. If an object is thrown vertically upwards with an initial velocity of 10 meters per second, find the time taken to reach the maximum height reached by the body, and time to reach the point of projection. You should understand the question first. What is that? A body is thrown vertically upwards. With what velocity? You are giving some initial velocity of 10 meters per second. Then what is that you need to find? How much time it takes to go to maximum height. Maximum height reach means what is the highest position it is now going. It is clear, the more velocity you go, more height it goes. If you give less velocity, it comes only here. If you give more velocity than that, it goes much more velocity, it goes beyond. Accordingly, more velocity, more height, that is the thing. So with this given velocity of 10, how much height it goes? That is what we call it as the maximum height reached. And time taken to reach the point of projection. What is point of projection? Clearly, point of projection means what? If you throw a body upwards here, if you throw a body upwards, if you release a body here, it goes and it comes back to the same location again. Comes back to the same location. Passing that same location again after release is being called as a point of, this is a point of projection. Here the question is what? Time taken to reach that. It obviously takes, it goes up, travels for some time, it comes down, again it takes some time. Sum of these two times, how much total time spent it is spending in the air is the time what we call it, we need to find here. Point of projection means at what point the body is released, it has to come back to the same location. And for that it takes some time, obviously. That time is called as what? That time is called as, in fact, that time is called as time of flight. Time taken from bottom to highest position is called as time of ascent. Ascent. A-S-C-E-N-T. And time taken from highest position to the point of projection is called as time of descent. We'll define that at later stage. But the time taken to reach the highest point is called as time of ascent. Time taken from highest point to reach the point of projection is called as time of descent. Sum of these two is called as time of flight. We need to find time of flight here. Accordingly, let me just give you the figure for this. A body which is given what velocity is that? Because here it is meters per second. It is going upwards, right? With what velocity it is now thrown? It is now thrown with the velocity of 10 meters per second. Shall I write bigger terms? I'll write bigger terms, no matter. Initially, this is given a velocity called as 10 meters per second. It is going up. And where it goes to highest point. And at highest point, what is the velocity? Time taken to reach maximum height. Maximum point means it has to stop there. At the highest point, velocity is equals to 0. Then while going up, what parameters is going to remain? Y is equals to, I think this is the H max what you need to find. Second value is finding the value of Y. Maximum height means from here to here, how much is the length present? That is what Y or H max we call it as. Y or H max. And time to reach the point of projection. Anything else we have? This is also acted upon by G, which has to be replaced by what? Either going up or coming down. A is always minus G. Now let us try to find the first solution. First part, using the first basic equation, V is equals to U minus GT. Actually, equation was V is equals to U plus AT, but for the body of upwards, if you write equation and remember that is also good, or you can apply directly in that V is equals to U plus AT, A is replaced by minus G, accordingly this is. Now what is the value of G here? V here, 0 is equals to, U is equals to how much? 10 minus, G value is by default 10 only, remember always, into T, time. Time to reach the highest position. Let T is equals to 0 here, and it takes a time of T is equals to reach this location. That is, this time is what we need to find accordingly. By solving this, what did you get? 10 is equals to 10t, or T is equals to 10 by 10 is equals to 1 second. And one more thing, when you are solving some problems like this, mention always units for the quantity. Some of the people, what they do, T is equals to 1, they leave it. V is equals to something, they leave it. That is not accepted in physics. You should always specify the unit. So how much time it is taking? 10 by 10 is equals to, because U is taken in terms of meter per second, accordingly this is going to have second with that. This is the first time taken to reach the maximum height. What is the answer for this now? Answer for this is going to be 1 second. What is the maximum height reach? Second point. What is the maximum height reach? The maximum height reach means what is it you need to find? You need to find the value of what? You need to find the value of what? Find the value of Y. What equation can be used here? We can use this kinematic equation, that is for second part. Hopefully you can see this. for second part, you can use this kinematic equation. That is v square is equals to u square minus 2gh. This is equation correct first of all? It is always v square is equals to u square plus, don't bother about all the different cases, just remember this condition. V square is equals to u square plus 2as. For upward, u and v are positive. Y or h is also positive. This is y or h. In this case, I am calling it as y, which is equals to h max. Y is also positive. Only g is negative. Accordingly, v square is equals to u square minus 2gy. Now substitute the values. What is that we know? Let me put some cut here. That is 0 square is equals to u square 10 square minus 2 into 10 into y. You need to find the value of y itself here. That is minus 20y is equals to 100. Sorry, if you take minus to this side, it becomes plus 20y here. 20y has taken this side. 0 square plus 20y, that is 0 eliminated, 20y is equals to 100. Y is equals to how much? Y is equals to 100 by 20. 100 by 20, which is equals to 5 meters. Units is important. 5 meters. 5 meters is the maximum height. Means from 0th position to highest position, how much of distance it is now traveling. Simply by knowing one parameter u, you are able to now determine how much time it takes. That is the second part. For the third one, this is done. This is 5 meters. The answer for this is 5 meters. This is 1 second. Now we need to find time to reach the point of origin. It is starting from here, going to highest position. Starting from highest position is called as time of ascent, and from highest position to the same location, height is remaining same. Accordingly, how much time it takes? Time taken from highest position to this one is called as time of descent. What is the meaning of time to reach the point of projection? Starting here, time taken to go to the upper position, highest point, and time taken from highest point to this one. Both would be same. Time, always remember. Time taken by a body to go, because it is acted upon by the same gravitational force field G. Both are under the same G. Accordingly, time taken to reach the highest position would be same as that of time taken from highest position to reach the bottom part. That is point of position. Accordingly, this third part, time of flight is equals to time of ascent plus time of descent. What is time of ascent? Time of ascent is the time taken by a body to go in the upward to reach the highest point, 1 second, and time of descent is the time taken by the body to reach the bottom position from highest position, that is again 1 second, which is equals to how many seconds now? Time of ascent, time taken to reach the point of projection is in this way, 2 seconds. In this way, we'll be applying the kinematic equations for a body thrown upwards and downwards. Let me pause a while. I'll come back with the second question. Students, check out now one more question to apply the conditions what I have said earlier. Question is, a body is thrown vertically upwards with an initial velocity of 20 meters per second from the top of a tower of height 20 meters. Take g is equals to 10 meters per second square. Find time taken to reach the maximum height. How much maximum height reached? Total time to reach the ground from height. First, analyze the situation you are now throwing. Earlier you have thrown from the surface of the earth. Now you are throwing a stone or an object is thrown from the top of a tower. Let me just show you that in the form of a figure like this. Let us suppose this is the building where the incident is taking place. Where, let me suppose this value as y0. This is the surface of the earth. Surface of the earth. And from the surface of the earth, at what height it is? It is at a height of 20 meters. Person is standing at the height of 20 meters. From here, an object is thrown vertically upwards. Since now this is u, which is positive only because it is going upwards, it will now reach the highest position called as v0. Let this highest position be given by means of y, which is equals to h, height reached by the body. You need to find in second part, you need to find how much is the y value, maximum height reached. How much is the maximum height from two places, either from the top of the building. If the maximum height means it is the height, maximum height from the top of the building is y, maximum height from the surface of the earth is y0 plus y. If this is y, This is y naught. Y naught plus y will be the maximum height from the surface of the earth. And from top of the building, it is simply equals to what? Y it is. Now, A will be replaced by minus G, as I said always. Accordingly, what are the different equations we have? B is equals to U plus AT, S is equals to UT plus half AT square. You need to check what data is provided and what is that you need to find. You need to find time. You want to find an equation from this data. You need to find the value of what? Time in the first case. So first part. How can you connect these things? There is no displacement value given. Y value is not given. Accordingly, you need to connect only these things. So which equation you can make use of? You can make use of V is equals to U minus GT. As A is minus G, U is plus plus, accordingly all this. V is equals to 0 is equals to how much is velocity? 20 minus G is 10 into 10 T. Initial velocity U is given as 20, right? Accordingly. 20 is equals to 10 T. 10 T is equals to 20. T is equals to how much? T is equals to 20 by 10, which is equals to 2 seconds. The time, first part answer is time taken to reach the maximum height is from the point where it is thrown. Time taken is now equals to how much it is? It is equals to 2 seconds. For the second one, maximum height reached. Maximum height reached means you need to find the value of what? Y value. Maximum height reached from two places, as I said. Let us now try to find the value of y. I will take this part. First part is finished. Let us stop it. Let us close this part here. Now let us check the next part. That is second part. Again, body is going upwards. A is acting in the downward direction minus G. That is, which equation can be used to find the height value? V square minus U square is equals to 2GH. That is, V square is equals to U square minus 2GH. H is negative minus H is positive. What is H here? H here in the sense it is equals to Y. Y value you need to find. Right. What is that? V square now? V square is 0 square is equals to 20 whole square, plus or minus it is plus only because it is going in the upward direction, minus 2 into 10 into y. Solving this further, minus 20y, this is whole factor is minus 20y. I am taking this to this side, 0 square plus 20y, it becomes 20y is equals to 200 square, which is equals to 400. 20 square it is 400. Y is equals to 400 by 20. 0 and 0 gets cancelled. This is equals to 40 by 2 is equals to 20 meters. So what height, if we throw with a velocity of 20 meters per second, how much height it is traveling now? Y is equals to 20 meters. Maximum height from the top of the building is H max from top of the building is 20 meters. Maximum height from the top of the building is 20 meters. And H max from the surface of the earth, from the ground or from the surface of the earth, is equals to, it is clearly y naught plus y. This is y naught, this is y. From here to how much is the distance? Y naught plus y, which is equals to 20 plus 20 is equals to 40 meters. Second part is that. What are we doing? We are actually applying all the kinematic equations of vertical motion in a proper way to understand the equations. Either you take the equations up, apply, or directly you take the data and substitute in that, you will get. You should be well versed with these things. So which out of three equations, what parameters are given, which equation has to be used. I cannot use H is equals to UT plus half AT square to find H because there is no time factor given. Or the best way is to solve in this way. This is the two parts. Let us now talk about the third important case. Concentrate on this important part. How we apply equations for this. How we apply equations for the third part. That is, what is third part now? Third part is total time to reach the ground. From where to where the total time, from where to where it means, from here it is thrown upwards. It has to reach the ground. It goes up, comes back and falls here. How much time? this is time of ascent from bottom, from top of building to this one, again time of descent, again time to reach the surface. There are 3 total times, 1, 2 and 3. We will not do in the form of different, and that becomes a lengthy process. What we do is that we make some kind of logical things we apply here. Again, what we do, body is thrown upwards only initially, accordingly the previous data validates, and we will now make use of, since we want to find total time, let t be the total time taken to reach the ground, how much time we are supposing from here to here, and from here to here. The entire time is now taken in the form of t. Now how can we use this t in the equation? Use the equation h is equals to ut plus half at square. What is h here? Total height traveling is equals to y plus y naught. Total height body has to travel is y plus y naught is equals to h is equal to ut plus half gt square plus or minus half gt square. Now what is this y plus y naught actually corresponding to? Y plus y naught from here to here and again from here. Net displacement of y is equals to 0. What is the net displacement taking place from here to the total displacement? Let me say this as net displacement. Net displacement. How much is the net displacement taking place from here to here? It has to travel from here to here, again to here and to here. So net displacement traveling is from here to here only, whose value is equals to what? Y naught. Y naught will be equals to, and let me write the equation first. Y naught is equals to ut minus half gt square. What is this y naught value? Is it plus 20 or minus 20? From here to here the body is traveling. While falling down it has to travel. Accordingly it is going downwards. That is minus 20 is equals to. Ut is, should I take u as plus or minus here? It is coming from here to here only. But we want time for what? Time from here to here, and then the entire part. So accordingly, the u what you are using is also going in this direction. If it is given, then only it goes in the upward direction. That means it initially has to travel in the upward direction. Accordingly, you should be positive only, because if you give negative, it is from here to here only. It means since you are giving, if you give positive, it is in this direction. So since we want total time, it has to go up. Accordingly, u has to be taken in the form of what? Plus only. What is the value of plus now? 20 into t minus half into, is this minus or plus? Always minus only. Minus into 10 into t square. If you write one more step for this, minus 20 is equals to 20t minus 5t square. Write all the terms together, right, in the form of quadratic equation. If you write like that, take t square and 22 to this side. It becomes 5t square plus 20t, sorry, minus 20t minus 20 is equal, this minus 20 is here only. I am taking these two terms to LHS. Accordingly, no term is present here, that becomes 0. Minus 5t square has become plus 5t square. 22 has become minus t. You can take 5 common to simplify this. 5 times of t square minus 4t minus 4 is equals to 0. This is 5t square minus 4t. 5 can be taken that side, again t square minus 4t minus 4 is equals to 0. You need to find the value of t from this. But you can solve this by factorization method. But what I'll do is, I'll not take direct factorization method, I'll take that equation of quadratic form. This is a quadratic form of ax square plus bx plus c. If ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0 from the quadratic equation, we know that it will be having a solution given by means of x is equals to minus b plus or minus b square minus 4ac by whole divided by 2a. We have learned this equation, right? We make use of this one. Now by comparing this, you can substitute the values what all present here. Right? This is in the form of quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c, whose solution would be given by means of minus b. In this place of, by comparing these two, in place of ax, we are now solving that for t. That is comparing, we have a is equals to 1, b is equals to minus 4, c is equals to minus 4. Both are minus 4s only. C is equals to minus 4. Then what, if you solve this, what that you are going to get? If you solve this, you are going to get C is equals to minus 4. If you solve this, you are going to now get this concept of what? You are going to solve for t. T is equals to minus b, minus of minus 4. But I'll write this side to avoid confusion. I'll write here. I'm just removing this part. You can pause and check how it has been done. It will be there recorded, right? So I'm just solving this part here. I'm solving this part here. If you solve this, you are going to get 40. T is equals to minus of minus 4 because b is equals to 4 plus or minus under root of b square. B square is what? Minus 4 whole square minus 4 into a into minus 4, right? 4ac, c is minus 4, a is 1, minus is as is, 4 is as is. Whole divided by what? Whole divided by 2 into a is how much? 1. Now t is equals to plus 4, minus into minus plus 4, I am writing simply 4 only. 4 plus or minus under root of 4 square 16 and minus into 4 into 4 again plus 16 by 2. T is equals to 4 plus or minus root 32 by 2. Root 32, we can write it as what? 18 2s are 16, 2s are 32, 4 root 2. You can write, right? 16 2s are 32, 4 root 2 you can write. This is equals to 4 plus or minus 4 root 2 by 2. Can I write 32 as 4 root 2 because 32 is 16 2s are 16 root and 2 root. 2 root is as is, 16 root is, I'll write. If you have any confusion, I'll write it. This is equals to 4 plus or minus under root of 16 into 2 whole divided by 2. Now t is equals to 4 plus or minus 4 root 2 by 2. You can find the value of 4 root 2. 4 into 1.414. 4 into, I'll write somewhere here. 4 into 1.414 is equals to 2.8. 4 into, right? Is equals to 4 4s are 16, 4 1s are 5, 16, 5. 5.656. 5.656. This is equals to 4 plus or minus 5 point. I'll just stick to one decimal. 6 by 2. What is that? T is equals to? T is equals to. Need some more space. Lengthier, right? Both is short. What is that? T is equals to 1 time, 2 time into T is equals to 4 plus 5.6 by 2 or 4 minus 5.6 by 2. 1 time plus, 1 time minus. Because if you go in this method, any kind of other numbers, higher numbers, what you get can be solved. If you stick to factorization, only few can be factorized, few cannot be factorized. Accordingly, even if you get some decimal numbers, instead of factorization, if you follow, you will get some practice on this. This is equals to, T is equals to 9.6 by 2 or minus 1.6 by 2. This time can be ruled out. Time cannot be negative. Minus time can never exist. Accordingly, that can be ignored or neglected. And final time, what is that? We need is a 9.6 by 2, which is equals to 4.8 seconds. 4.8 seconds. This is the answer, time taken to reach the ground. This is the way how to solve by applying the rules what is being provided to you. And I'll give an assignment based upon this. You can check in the description for that. The more you practice, more easy it becomes. Only by 1 or 2 problems, nothing can be learned. Try to have thorough practice on this. Only one condition, that anything going up in physics is always positive, anything coming down is always negative. So accordingly, by using that condition, G is always negative because in both the cases it is G is always going to act in the downward direction only. Accordingly, we learn the important aspects of vertical motion. See you in my next video. Till then, have a safe, happy learning. Stay safe. Thank you.